Governor Walker says he's confident key parts of his 2018 agenda will pass the state Senate before that chamber wraps up its session on March 20th. Walker, who's up for re-election in November, spoke to the state's largest business lobby group last week and said there's more work to be done. He touted his $100 per child tax rebate for parents and a sales tax holiday. Both plans passed the state assembly, but their fate in the Senate looks less certain. A Democratic candidate for governor says a reactive plan for growing the state's economy isn't working, and he has a plan to do things differently. Milwaukee businessman Andy Gronik is one of more than a dozen Democrats running for governor this year, and he joins us today on Upfront. Thanks very much for being with us. Let me start with that jobs plan, your approach. What's the headline? What sets it apart from the others?
Well, it's really a common sense plan that builds on Wisconsin's strengths. Before I even thought about running for governor, I spent 18 months traveling the state, and I spoke to over 700 people about real ideas that build on the strengths of our state, that capture all those strengths and turn them into good-paying, family-sustaining jobs, the kind of jobs that are in science, technology, manufacturing, and agriculture that make Wisconsin a world leader in the things that support life: food, water, air, and energy. And those are all things that we're pretty good at here in Wisconsin.
The state's unemployment numbers are down. They're low. Most believe that the economy is improving or at a stable, positive spot right now. What's the governor doing wrong? Where are his vulnerabilities on this?
Well, he likes to run to that unemployment number without considering the fact that if you go knock on the doors of Wisconsinites all over our state, they're not home. They're working 2, 3, 4 jobs sometimes and just hanging on by their fingertips to get by and to pay rent. So I think it's really a real misnomer. You don't feed families in the state of Wisconsin with a low unemployment rate. You feed them with good-paying, family-sustaining jobs. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to create with the Grow Wis plan that I'm advancing.
One of the things in the spotlight of the jobs discussion during this race will be Foxconn. The governor will tout the thousands of jobs that will be created there. Democrats have said the concern is what the state is giving away in order to attract the company to come to Wisconsin. Where do you stand on Foxconn? Some of the other Democrats in this race have said we would work to change the deal.
Well, I've said that Foxconn is an anchor around the necks of every Wisconsinite. What Governor Walker did, and with no transparency to the Wisconsin taxpayers, is he created the kind of a deal that has no revenue guarantees whatsoever, the kind of deal that you could not take to a bank and get financed, that you couldn't take to a board of directors and get passed. But yet he's pushing $3 billion, but now actually $4.5 billion, out the door to a company that, frankly, we never took the time as a state. He never did an independent feasibility analysis to even determine if the kinds of things that Foxconn says they can do, they can actually do. And he's given them unfettered access to the Great Lakes and 7 million gallons a day without even having the common sense of going to a Foxconn plant, testing the water that's coming out of the effluent treatment plants there, and determining what kind of heavy metals we're going to be putting back into our Great Lake, Michigan. That's not leadership. That's not a governor that's negotiating on behalf of all of the people of the state of Wisconsin. That's a governor that's trying to put up a smokescreen of what's been a pretty dismal jobs record since he took office.
The wheels are already in motion on Foxconn, however. Is it too late to go back to change things? Would you change the state's deal? Would you put a stop to any of the incentives that have been offered?
Well, there is no exit clause. The brilliance of Governor Walker is he went out and he talked about the fact that it's going to create jobs for $53,000+ for Wisconsinites. The fact is that Foxconn gets access to $1.5 billion just by paying $14.42 an hour. There's all kinds of smoke screens going on here. So in the end, I would work hard to make this deal less bad because it is a bad deal for taxpayers. He wants to pitch that there's a 25-year payback. 25-year payback, number one, isn't great, but now that's a $4.5 billion deal, and if more than 10% of the people that are employed by Foxconn come from Illinois, that payback is so far out that you can't make a reasonable estimate as to when the state of Wisconsin and their taxpayers will ever see a dime back from Foxconn. It doesn't make sense. This kind of thing will not happen when I'm governor.
All right, really quickly, I want to ask you about the sort of a status report on your campaign. We're 5 months away from the primary in a field that's more crowded than anything we've ever seen in a race for governor before. Where do you stand? How do you set yourself apart? How do you break away?
Well, it's been awesome. When you think about the number of voices in our state that are calling for real change, to get back to the kind of progressive values that have moved our state forward in the past, I think it's pretty great. I mean, I entered this race, and the big criticism of Andy Gronek was, you have no name recognition. How in the world are you going to win a statewide election with no name recognition? Well, we now have the largest social media following in the entire field, and we're dwarfing the competition. Between Facebook and Twitter, I think we're 27,000 people every single day are tuning in for a real conversation, an optimistic vision of the kinds of things that we can move the state forward. Not just in jobs, but education and healthcare, which we desperately need to get back to in our state. That's what's going to happen when I'm governor.
All right. Democratic candidate for governor, Andy Gronek, thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks, Ken. I really appreciate it.
Our editorial partner, WisPolitics.com, covers the candidates and important developments in the race for governor. You'll find that coverage on the election blog of WisPolitics.com. Well, it's down to 2 now in the race for state Supreme Court. We'll hear from the candidates in their first debate since the primary next on Upfront.